I decided I would record a video showing you a bit of my life as a PhD student. I'm recently on my third year and I've been working on microfluidic platforms for pathogen analysis. My day usually starts with some breakfast. A friend once told me I had become a true Brit because I was having porridge for breakfast, which I found it quite funny. Then I go to uni. I'm lucky enough to live at walking distance in about 15 to 20 minutes, which is quite convenient and also a nice excuse for when you don't do your daily exercise. The days as a PhD student tend to be a bit of a mix. There can be intense days and weeks full of experiments and long days in the lab. Other times you need to spend whole days and weeks in the library reading articles, catching up with literature and writing different parts for what eventually will become your thesis. In my experience, this has usually happened when an abstract deadline for a congress was approaching or when I had to prepare a presentation or submit my annual reports. But for the most part, my daily life is a mix of time in the office and in the lab doing experiments, such as the one I'm doing right now. There will be many types of PhD programs, university rules and supervisors' relationships. I've heard many times that one of the advantages of a PhD is the freedom and flexibility to plan and do your work. You can take breaks when you need, and you can plan your work around the times you are most efficient. For me, one of the key aspects of a PhD is that you are actually a student, so you are building your skills, and you do not need to know everything beforehand, but it is a learning process. Okay, so now I'm in my office doing some housekeeping. Reading some bits, answering emails, ordering reagents, or planning what I'm going to do next. And lunchtime. I usually try to meet with some colleagues for lunch, in this case socially distancing. It is nice to have a break after a morning of work and catch up with everybody's news. We sometimes go outside, weather permitting. So if you go to the building next to us, you can hear music students playing, rehearsing and warming up. Today we have some opera singers. After this magical moment, I decided to go to the library and read a few articles and write a few notes on them. After some time, I decided to go back to the lab. Lately, I've been working with my colleague Por, developing a microfluidic device for diagnostic of coronavirus. Microfluidics can sometimes be seen as having a tiny chip with many tubings and machines around to pump liquids and measuring signals, but this is only one aspect. We have been working on a simple device aimed at resource-limited settings to detect the presence of coronavirus RNA in a sample. We use tiny magnetic beads to capture and extract the RNA, and we move these beads using a magnet, and we detect the RNA using a colorimetric amplification technique. During the PhD, you will get stuck at times or feel frustrated when experiments don't seem to work, and it can be tough. At those times, I personally have to remind myself that my PhD is not my whole life, and it doesn't define entirely who I am. It is good to talk to a close friend about it and then do something different that distracts your mind and takes you out of your misery. I'm still doing my PhD and I can really only say one thing. Let's keep moving forwards.